I can see now how easy it is to get distracted. What should have been a simple excursion to Brine Town to broker a peace between the Owlwood and these villagers has involved battling demons, running from a tidal wave, exterminating a few Gith, finding a hidden tunnel, and now for some reason my brother has picked a fight with Fey. One thing leads to another, to another, to another, and each step takes me further away from my lady and my purpose. I'm reaching my wits' end. Oh, my brother has fallen. I must go.
Heroes rise, heroes fall. I see them on the front line, standing tall. They're risking life and limb to answer the call. But what they fighting for? Don't know, don't care. Just along for the ride, but everyone must stand. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna win inside.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. As always, I'm your DM, Tom Blaylock, and I am joined today by Schnobik the Bastard, who is still on his feet. What's up, Sam?
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Me too. Phil Near Omajira, who is also still on his feet and has done some major damage to these Fey creatures. What's up, Tim?
What's happening?
Man, and finally, Iona Silhavine, the wizard who is now playing dead. Played by John Watson. What's up, John?
Did he see me? Did he?
Well, before I do a recap, here's what I need to do. I need you to roll me a performance check. Yeah, I do.
Just lay
No,
down.
I'm not kidding.
I'm gonna lay down and just kind of slowly put my robe over my face.
Okay.
Awesome
No,
performance.
I think you got to give us a little bit of like what you did when you were struck down.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? A little, oh God.
Wait. Actually, Sam, wait. He has to roll his performance check before he
Let me
tells
roll it
us.
before I say what really happened.
Roll it.
Before I say what
Knows
really
level
happened.
to act it on.
That's a 13.
Okay, wait. Okay, I have to roll. Oh, I want to roll these secretively. I don't want you to
You
roll
have
them on
dice
your
in front
table.
of you.
Yeah, just
Here's
roll.
what I want you to do. Sam and Tim, I want you both to whisper rolls to me. D20, please, both of you. Whisper.
Plus any bonuses.
I will handle the bonuses on my own end.
Okay, so Sam, it's /GM roll D20.
Okay.
Although, yeah, okay, Tim, I get the second one. There you go.
Yeah, the first one was clearly the wrong.
Yeah, that's clearly, the first
I rolled
one,
a
Tim rolled a
D29.
D29. that's
Can we just
very
like
right.
scale that one down? I mean, the roll was a little bit better.
Okay. John, tell me the quickling strikes, and you're knocked down, and yet as you fall, you begin to pick yourself up, and then you decide, what? How does this go? What happens?
So, I'm like using my robe to try and like swipe away his sticking, but he keeps hitting me. And I hit the ground, and then I kind of get up because I'm kind of awake, but then I just kind of flop back down.
All right. Okay. Great. So this happens, and as you sort of survey the battle scene, you're sort of Schnobik did a great job of reminding us how we got here. A couple of things I want to remind you is that you found this strange, weird room in a burned out building that is the Hotel de Ville, that the illusion was still going, even though clearly it was cast on this room at some point before it burned down. That's when you went into the tunnel, which was hidden inside this room. You popped out of the well, and that's when you had your first conversation with Oxpix, the Corrid Fey. For some reason, and we get into this in the bonus, I'm sure, but Ionis decides he is not going to allow Oxpix to survive this meeting when Oxpix announces that he owns all of the gold of Adair. And if you remember, he gives you a little hint on what his last few days have been like of searching the town, and he can smell the gold, and then he can no longer smell it. And he says he knows it's here, but he doesn't know where it is, and he's been digging all throughout this town, and he has not yet found it. So as this fight ensues, you have incredibly fast Fey that are slicing up Ionis and for a bit sliced up Schnobik. And as we ended last time, thanks to some well-placed AoE spells, a half-elf, and a vampire, most of the quicklings are dead. There's still one limping along at lightning speed. And the 2 Chorids, including Oxpix, so it's Oxpix and Wallpix, are both still alive. It is totally clear, Filnir and Schnobik, that when Ionis hits the ground, his head kind of bounces up, and you can see that he's about to sit back up, and then he catches the eye of he sees the quickling sort of start to look away from him and look toward Schnobik, and he immediately closes his eyes tight, and you can tell he's now closing his eyes tight and is in fact awake, but he is on the ground pretending to be dead.
I didn't know you had a feint skill.
He had a feint skill, yes. So, his feint check failed against you all. It's unclear whether it failed against the 2 Chorids. We are at Filnir Omajira.
Okay.
And it is your turn.
Now, the only thing I
act.
don't remember is exactly where I was on the battlefield relative to Oxpix, Ionis. I know I did the Cone of Cold.
Yeah.
So I think I must have been like 30 feet away.
You're like 30 feet away from Ionis
away.
when he goes down.
Okay.
And the 2 Chorids, so one is engaged directly with Schnobik, and the other one's about 10 feet away. So if I'm going to paint you this picture, Ionis is on the ground. He's actually close, about 20 feet away from you.
Okay.
There's a quickling on him, and in a straight line, Schnobik is engaged with another Chorid, and then 10 feet beyond him, all sort of in a straight line here, a little bit off, is Oxpix.
Okay.
Who is over by the well.
All right. Well, knowing that Ionis is awake and that these quicklings are such a pain in the butt, I think I'm going to stand by my wizard. Now the question is, I'm going to. Oh no, and I have in my notes here just so we don't forget. Oxpix has Hexblade's curse on him.
Yes,
and also correct. Booming Blade carries over from last episode.
That is right. Yes.
So I'm going to walk over to the.
Although it's a Booming Blade from Schnobik.
Yes, it's not mine.
That's right. Okay,
I just made
yours.
notes just to remember that it has to proc if he moves.
Because he knew I wasn't going to take a note.
Yes, that's right.
I know these things. So I'm going to. Do I shoot it or do I swing at it? I think I'm going to swing at it. I mean, it's not going to take much.
And just a reminder, they have all died very quickly once they've been hit with things.
Yes.
And this one has been hit.
Right. Yeah. I just don't know if I have enough movement to get past them to hit anything else. So if I kill this thing and I have another swing, it's going to go to waste. But if I Eldritch Blast it, at least I get 3 shots, so I could hit something else too. So let me do that. Let me Eldritch Blast before I move. So I'll go for the Quickling first.
And this is with disadvantage, as a reminder,
because
he's blurry. He's just moving. He's like dancing around at all times, even when it's your turn. He's still moving around.
All right. So with disadvantage, I will roll 2 of these. 13 on the first bolt.
Okay, that's a miss.
Okay, here comes blast number 2 because I get 3 of these. 27 and 27.
That is a hit.
All right. So he's going to take a D10, 8 force damage.
And it is you blast him and you get him mid chest. And
center mass,
the magic and actually like he is thrown back and you can see the blurred movement stops and he's shoved back so hard that his hands and his legs clap together in the air as he's going. And then when when the hands that have clapped together land, you realize that his entire core has been evaporated, and it's just
Jeez.
his head, his 2 arms, and his 2 legs is all that's left of him on the ground,
Okay.
and there's 0 blood on him.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I've
You-
got one
you have
more.
one more.
Blast. I will shoot at Ox Picks, and this is at a straight roll, correct?
This is a straight roll, yes.
21 to hit.
I believe this is a hit.
No, 18 missed yesterday.
That is a
Or
hit.
last time.
Yes, that is a hit.
All right. 9 force damage. Good rolls on these 10s.
That is very good. That's a very, very good roll.
Oh wait, Hexblade's curse. Does he take? No, is it Hex that he gets extra damage? Hold on a second.
I think Hexblade's curse now as well, right?
Bonus damage rolls against the cursed target. Yes, he gets +4 to that, so 13 damage.
Okay, that's a lot. Okay. I mean, what are you going to do?
Oh, and then I have my Spectre.
Okay.
So
that's right. You brought up your Spectre.
I did. So Spectre's going to go over to Oxpix. His movement is 50, so there's no question there. I don't think.
Yeah,
I think he was in front of him
sure.
anyway, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And he's just going to use his melee attack, which is Life Drain. 23 to hit.
That's a hit.
Okay, and then it's 3d6 necrotic and a DC 10 Constitution save, please.
All right.
8 damage. Wow, shitty rolls.
Okay, let me take this off first.
So DC 10 con save or its hit point max comes down with the damage, but I don't know if that matters too much. I don't know if this guy can heal or not.
He is. He's okay. He's all right. Okay.
Oh, and I was and Filner's gonna move over next to Ionis as part of after he blasts all those things. Just
are you gonna stand are you in a guarding position?
Yeah, I'm gonna I'll put myself interpose myself in that line.
Okay. All right. So, Oxpix has been blasted by you. He pulls out from his belt. So he's wearing this sort of cape thing. It's looks like a riding, like a riding cape.
Oh wait, Tom, I'm sorry. This is
yes.
really dumb. This is actually it may hurt me, but we're in sunlight, right? Where it's daytime.
Yes.
So the Spectre's roll should actually be at disadvantage. So let me just roll.
Okay.
It again.
All right. Thank you, Tim. That's
so that does not hit.
Okay. This is what D&D is supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be.
It's just like I had to scroll down on my character sheet to see it.
That's right.
I don't always use this thing, so.
Okay, so Oxpix is a little less hurt than he was before, but still, I mean, 8 was not that big a difference.
And that Spectre still just right in his face.
Phil Spector in his face.
He still got Phil Spector in his face.
And that hair is just blocking his view.
And he is he whips his cape around, and it reveals he's got 3 scrolls on each side of his belt, and he sort of reaches down almost like a gunslinger would reach for his sidearm, but it is first Schnobik's turn.
How far away am I from him?
10 feet from Oxpix, and you're engaged with Wallpix.
Oh, I'm engaged with Wallpix, and Oxpix is 10 feet further.
Yes, that's right.
What's Wallpix doing?
So Wallpix has a great club. And he had just
pretty great, right?
Yeah, it's super great. He is standing on the ground. He is not burrowed, but you saw him burrow a moment ago, and he moved through the unworked dirt and stone as though almost as fast as he walked. So his hair is wild. He's dirty everywhere. He looks an awful lot like a mix between a mouse, a Durger, and an elf.
All right.
With dreadlocks.
I have no quarrel with you, Fey, but if you persist, I will kill you.
If I die, if I die, I will return.
Back to your plane, then. And I'm going to Booming Blade.
Okay.
16.
That is a miss.
And I'm going to bonus action attack. 22.
That's a hit.
8 piercing damage.
Okay. Yep. So he looks really messed up. So when you hit him here, you sort of poke him, and he's got super hard skin. It's almost like the stone skin spell. That when it hits, you can feel your piercing weapon. It sort of bends a little bit before it enters, and this time it enters, and you see a little bit of blue blood come out. And as you retrieve your rapier, his skin sort of crumbles like rock falling from the side of a boulder. Oxpix, let us go. They will kill us. I have eaten food here. You ate food, Walpix. No. All right. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So
got another rule.
So Oxpix hears this, and he is clearly now much more concerned than he was a moment ago. And you can see that the quicklings that you had seen eating in the Temple of Ehi, they are all still there. Their bodies are there, their corpses are there, and I'm gonna give you all one chance at a perception check.
Let me guess. The one that wasn't eating is gone.
The one that wasn't eating, only his clothes are there.
26 perception.
Yes, Schnobik, I'm glad
Okay.
I said that, and then you went ahead and rolled a 26. So you see that like next to over where the ice cone of cold hit, there is a single haversack, tiny little haversack, and like tiny little studded leather armor and boots and a dagger on the ground where there had been a quickling.
Filnir, I believe you struck this one down, but it will return more powerful than you can imagine.
And Oxpix says, into the ground, brother, into the ground. And Walpix looks around and whips his hair over at Ionis, who's on the ground still.
Does he whip it back and forth?
He whips it back and forth. He does.
How far can he
He
whip
does a
that
little
mess?
hairography here. And
How big is it? How
How
long is his
far can he
hair?
whip that mess?
30 feet.
Good lord.
And it's like magical. His hair just like it looks like it's a dreadlock, but it just like shoots out as though he had like actually had a whip. And it goes over, and you, John, you need to do a dexterity saving throw. I believe because you are prone, you have disadvantage on this check.
But he does have his reaction because we just had his turn and all he did was his death save.
But I can't do a
That's
reaction
true.
that's going to save me from this, right?
This, I mean, it's a dexterity saving throw. I don't know if you have something that
right.
Like,
Oh,
you
it's
can
not an attack
like
roll.
shield's
Yeah.
not going to save me.
Right. That's right.
All right. What I want to do, I want to see if you're going to do this, Tom. If I have disadvantage, I can use my last luck point and roll that, and then I can choose one of the three.
No. So what will happen is you'll have disadvantage. So you'll roll one roll, which is 2 rolls. The lowest, that's 1. And then if you don't pass this, I'll let you roll a luck point. You could choose between the lowest.
Okay, I'm just saying that's what
Of
it
the
says
first two.
in the PHB. But it is up to you.
Is that what it
ultimately.
said?
It is
Wait,
up to you
is-
ultimately.
It says that in the PHB that if you have lucky, you're allowed to change a
I can if with disadvantage, I can
into
roll
a super advantage.
I roll a luck point, and then I roll a luck dice, and then I can choose one of the three.
Can I ask you this?
Uh-huh.
And
That
this is
seems-
a real. This is
That seems
this
way
is real.
overpowered.
This is real talk. This is real talk, John.
Real talk.
When you got lucky, did you get lucky because you thought that this would be something you could do?
I got lucky so that I could get advantage on Constitution saving throws.
Okay. So if I say no, it's not like
It's
not gonna.
we're not we're
break
gonna
apart the
be
character build that
friends.
you
We're
did.
gonna be friends afterwards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen,
Well, I mean-
I don't want to be up all night to get lucky. Can we just?
Okay. Okay.
All right. No problem.
Let's roll and see what happens.
Yeah, no, it's in the. That's crazy. That's in the PHP.
It's in the PHP. Yeah.
Yeah,
That seems crazy. That seems bananas to me
but
to be able to do
that's the
that.
feat.
That's the feat.
That's fucking
Yeah.
nuts.
Okay. All right. This is like turn off the computer, Luke. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right.
It's
Turn off the computer, Luke.
inexplicable luck is what it is. That's all it is.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So I
All
got
right.
an 11,
All right.
got a 15,
Okay.
and I got an 11.
And you're gonna use the 15.
I'll use the 15.
Okay. So the hair lashes out at you and it grabs your arm and Walpix yanks his head back away from you. And you feel a tug on your arm like you're being pulled toward Walpix, and then his hair just sort of can't quite grab you. And you move about 3 feet, but you don't leave your spot. And he calls out, "The wizard is awake. He is alive. We did not kill him. The quicklings have failed." And he burrows down, and a thunder goes off, and it pops him. Give me that booming blade.
There's a Reddit thread. Use the feat,
16
Luke.
damage.
Yeah, 16. Wow, that doesn't seem right. Wow, that's a lot of damage.
He rolled a
Yeah,
one
it
out of
is.
one of those 3 dice too.
An 8, a 7, and a 1.
Good lord.
8.
My God. Okay, and Schnobik, you're going to get an attack of opportunity because even though he's burrowing down, he is leaving your
Reach.
reach. So you'll get to do something at him. You have Warcaster, right?
13. Oh.
Do it. Do whatever you're going to do. You have Warcaster.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would have been an attack roll anyway. Booming blade.
You're going to do a booming blade or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
So 13. Yeah.
That's a miss. Okay. All right. So he burrows down, and then you hear rocks in the well, and you hear, and Oxpix looks around and says, "Wait, let me roll the damage on that real fast. Damn it. Let me just see if he's alive."
It's a 300-foot climb we made.
Yikes.
Yeah, but he didn't go down all 300 here. Let's see here. Okay, 14. Here we go. Oh, okay. All right. And Oxpix looks at you all, runs over to the well, and begins to cast something.
Shit.
3.
All right.
2.
4th level counterspell.
All right. Let's see here. Ah, man. 4th level counterspell? It's like you know what I'm doing. Okay. And he looks back at you and he goes, "Oh, I hate wizards." and it is your turn, Ionis.
Okay. I'm assuming Filner knows I'm awake now. I just kind of tap him on the ankle and say thank you. And I misty step to Oxpix, about 10 feet from Oxpix, and I open my scroll with the darkness bead in it.
Okay.
And I say,
All right.
and I say, perhaps we got off on the wrong foot.
Yes, we definitely got on the wrong foot. Let me close the well. We talk then.
And that's probably 6 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And it's
So-
you, Filner.
So you have the darkness thing. It's all around you now.
It's all around
And
me
you're
and Oxpix, but I'm sure you can see clearly.
Oh yeah, I can see fine, and Schnobik can't
He'll
see.
have to run in there.
I'll have
Well,
to
he
run
can't-
in, but
Yeah,
yeah.
he can't see Oxpick. I
He
still think
knows
it's
where he
hilarious.
is.
No, I know, of course he does. I just think it's funny.
That's
Like,
very
he can
funny.
see what's right in front of him, but not
I-
just beyond
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
Here's the question. So I think what it looks like is like Jonas still lying down. Like Oxpix runs over to the well. He starts to reach his hand over like he's going to close the well with his like stone hands. And then Jonas goes, "Ha, no, not so fast." And then he like appears just for a half a second standing up next to the guy. And then it's total darkness. A sphere of complete darkness comes up. And it's you. You
Okay,
feel it?
I'm gonna run into it as if it's not there because
Okay,
it
yeah.
doesn't really affect me. I could. How badly hurt does he look?
Now you can see totally. So you know how the one had a little bit of blue blood come out from the stone wounds. Oxpix looks like way more messed up than his friend did.
Okay, so I can mental prison him, but no, I'll just swing my quiet dark.
All right.
And I have advantage because
I'm going to give you advantage on this one, okay?
he can't. Yeah, thanks.
I'm just going to no, hey, I'm going to give you advantage, okay?
Thank you. Appreciate that. Now remember, I get a crit if I get a 19 or a 20. So let's see what happens.
Okay.
How about a 19
19
equals
baby.
30 on that
Jesus.
roll.
Wow.
So that is a critical hit. So I'm gonna roll. Whoo-wee.
Wow.
I'm gonna roll some extra dice. All right, let's roll this one plus. So that's
Okay.
Hold on, I gotta add the D8. Another 1. So 14 plus 4 for Hexblade's Curse plus 5 necrotic from Life Drinker plus 1 on the extra D8. So that's 15, 20, 24 damage
Jesus.
on the first swing.
Jesus Christ, that's so much damage. Okay, keep going.
And second swing, 28 cumulative, so no crit.
Wow.
Obviously, that will hit.
Yes, it hits.
And that's 22 more
Christ.
damage.
Oh my God, he's still alive, but man. So you see every time you swing Quiet Dark at him, it hits, and again, it's if this was a normal blade, this thing would be bouncing off of him. Like you'd be hitting him, but you can see that Quiet Dark just whether it's sharp, it's not clear why this happens, but you're just fraying off stone every time you hit him. And so on the outside, like Ionis, you hear Filnir come in there, and you just hear stone rubble falling all around you. And Oxpix is very quiet as he's getting hit. And it is. You have a bonus action or anything like that you're gonna do?
No.
All right, and it is Schnobik's turn. And Schnobik, you have this about 30 feet away. Well, it's like 10 feet away from you where you stand now. Oh, you're in the darkness. Actually, you're in the darkness. The darkness is a 15-foot right
Yeah.
radius.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in it. And you know about where they are.
Mhm.
Your blind sight's only 10 feet, so you can see Ionis in your blind, and you can see Filnir, and you saw him swinging at something that you cannot see yet.
All right, I'm going to move over. Booming Blade, this time with advantage.
Okay.
That is a 28.
That is a hit.
Wow. So that is 13 thunder and 7 piercing.
All right. So you run over next to Filnir, and you're in the darkness, and you can see that there's just like stones everywhere. And Oxpix, you can see his giant gray eyes searching in the darkness. And he actually does, in fact, see you coming. you can see that he locks eyes on you as you're swinging your blade at him, and you send your rapier into him, and you can stone starts to fall apart, and then what falls on the ground is just a cape, a loincloth, and a haversack, and 6 scrolls. And Oxpix is gone.
I move quickly to snatch the scrolls.
And you get all 6 scrolls.
I don't hear anything.
don't have-
What's happening?
You may put your beat away, Ionis.
Yeah. And deep underground, you hear feet scampering, and then you hear the sound of stone moving, and the sound of more stone moving, and then silence. And we are out of initiative.
I'm gonna go pick up the pebble,
Which one?
the one that Ionis dropped.
Oh, it's in
I
my
assume-
scroll.
Oh, it's still in the scroll.
Yeah. I just took the lid off,
Got it.
and then I just covered it back
Okay.
up.
Got it. Okay. I thought you
All right.
put it on the ground. I'm gonna go look down the well and see if it has changed shape. If our exit has been
Totally changed shape. So it looks like there's a couple of places that are, because how far out can you see? 200 feet?
no, it's 120.
120. Okay, so from where you're looking, you can't. It looks the same. It
Hmm.
looks the same.
Looking to see if I have anything that I can drop down. I don't have any. I
Well,
don't have any of
that
those.
was-
I don't have any glow stones in my inventory.
You don't have any
Wrong
glow
game.
stones.
That was diverting, but where does it leave us?
I apologize. There seem to be too many people that are claiming this money. I don't know how we get a Fey out of their bargain. And if they claim that it's all owed to them, then we can have none of it.
Well, I doubt they'll be in a hurry to come back and tangle with us.
Well, I do wish that we could have at least spoken to the other one. He seemed like he didn't want to fight.
Well, when you call for something's death and the blades are unsheathed, it's not always easy to put them away.
I do agree, and I, as I said, I apologize.
Well, this Fey seems to be very adept at finding gold, and he was not able to find this gold. I don't know what other chances we might have, but it seems as though our errand to the Owlwood is now more urgent.
Speaking of this Fey, what happened? I don't see a body.
I assume he's returned to the wild.
That can happen?
How does that work? Is this a Fey ability? Is this what happens
Well,
when Fey pass?
He said that. What did he say, Tom? He said something about that.
Well, yeah. So the conversation about eating is the pertinent one.
Right. Yeah, it
but
seems
yes,
as though those
this is
who,
not his. This is not his plane. This is not where he normally lives his life.
ate the food of this plane, like Woolpix, who seems to have made his escape, and there's little fuckers over there. They have crumbled and their bodies remain, but the ones who have not eaten merely disappeared. Nothing but clothes left. As you can see, there's only a cape and a loincloth here.
There's a haversack too, right? Or is that?
Haversack,
Oh.
yes.
Yeah, I'll pick that up and rummage through it while Schnobik is explaining.
So are you going for the quicklings or Oxpixes?
Oxpixes.
Okay. Oxpixes is full of maps. Nothing but maps and it's a small. Do you know sumie? It's a kind of Japanese calligraphy, but it's based on very well-shaped charcoal that creates ink. And so you have this, like, it's a small block that is a charcoal block that you have seen, Filnir has seen before,
Okay.
that you can add water to it, mix it, and then write and draw with it in black ink charcoal. And so clearly Oxpix has a set for drawing, and all of these maps seem to be drawn by the same hand. You'd assume that these were drawn by Oxpix.
Okay.
They are every map has 3 axes on them, so he is drawing in 3 dimensions, and they are all below grade maps.
Below grade meaning like below the ground.
Underground. These are all maps that he has drawn of underground tunnels, movements, landmarks, or not landmarks, rock marks.
Right. Underground marks.
Ways of telling where you're going when you're burrowing, basically.
Okay.
You don't have enough time to go through all of them right
Sure,
now, but
right.
like this is,
And these don't include the scrolls that Schnobik grabbed?
no. Schnobik has not looked at the scrolls yet, for sure.
No. Can I look over Filnir's shoulder at the maps, and can I do an investigation check based on my knowledge of underground
Sure.
architecture?
Yeah. First, I'm going to have you roll a d20
Okay.
to determine which map you're looking at.
15.
Okay. All right. Give me your investigation check.
Do I get any special advantage for my knowledge of the Underdark? I mean, I would assume I have seen maps, 3D maps like this before.
Yes. So you understand the maps for sure. Here's what's weird about this map before you roll, and I'll just tell you this is why you're not going to get any kind of bonus or advantage on this, is these are not maps of existing tunnels. These are burrow maps. So this guy actually moves in and out of stone. And so these are his ways of remembering where he searched for gold.
20.
This map that Filnir is sort of flipping through that you get a good look at, has Sylvan. You can't read Sylvan. Has some markings on it that are similar enough to Elvish that you can tell that he's written, dead end gold has moved.
Well, looking at these maps, it looks like this Fey has dug up half this valley and still not found the gold.
Beginning to wonder if this gold even exists.
And did we hear them say something about the gold keeps shifting?
Well, he smells it and then he doesn't smell it anymore.
Yeah. And he's very good at smelling it.
I would assume very good at telling fake gold from real gold.
Right.
Yes.
It's very
and
odd.
Illusions from reality.
I don't know how it's happening, but it looks like I would be shocked if the gold didn't exist. But it seems like the gold is on the move somehow.
Ionis, your purse of plethora holds coin, yes? But is the coin in it the entire time?
I suppose if it is put inside the purse of plethora, it is stored in another dimension, yes. That's very interesting, Filnir.
Could it be, this does not sound logical, but could it be that somehow there is a purse of some sort that has its holdings under Brine Town, but in a shifting place? This is nonsense. I'm sorry. It's ludicrous.
But it's either that, or I've done some studying as well on extremely high level spells where you can store vast amounts of wealth or anything you want in a different plane.
Wait. What about your chest, Ionis? Like, The one you used with Mr. Percy. You were able to pass things through.
And it is not the only one.
No.
It is possible that the gold stays still, but the opening of the portal to the gold moves.
But if
If it
Oxpix
is a
could...
chest that is being carried or a spell that is being cast in different locations.
But if Oxpix can smell the gold, it matters
Smell
not
it
where the
through
portal
the
is.
portal.
But maybe, yes, when the portal is open, then he can smell it. And then when it's closed, he can't smell it anymore.
Perhaps you are onto
Does
something.
the smell of gold cross planar boundaries?
It might when the chest is open.
And if it does, when those smell lines reach Oxpix, do you think he floats up in the air slightly and closes his eyes as though smelling a good pie left on a windowsill?
You see down the Palisades, you see that there is a small commotion, people coming out of houses in I don't know if you remember, but the house, it's sort of is almost color coded, and it's as you come up, and you are up on the top level, which is black. Next level is white, then another level that's white, and then the green and the blue and the yellow is down closest to the river. So on the blue level, the sort of richest ladybone level, which is second from the bottom, people are now emerging from their homes after the fight against the Gith, and they're clearly coming out and cleaning up, checking for damage on their side of town. They're only a few thousand feet away from you. They're probably only 200, 300 feet down, but then it's a bit of an angle, down the hill to get down there. It's sort of a switchback thing. But you do see that there's a man who has walked up, and he's arriving on the black level from the switchback down the road, probably 2,000 feet away. He carries a spear and something in his left hand that is definitely not a shield. It's like a small square in his hand, and he calls out and he says, "Yo, you, by the well, who goes there? Be you with the Fae?"
Hello, friend. We are not with the Fae.
Straighten up, brother. Try to look like as though you're not about to collapse.
They will return in 3 days' time, as they always do. They are searching. Come down to Blue Street. Come down to Blue Street. The acting mayor Hagar would like to speak to all newcomers. Are you from the Owlwood?
Let us confer a moment. We will join you.
What is your name, good sir?
Very well. My name is Samuel.
Okay, Samuel. Give us just a moment.
Give us a moment.
Very well.
Very well.
And he sort of moves back down the street.
I sort of tap the rim here. To be frank, it's a middling well at best. Do we feel as though the immediate threat of the Gith has passed? I know we came here thinking that they were arriving from this point, but now it seems more logical that both they and the Fae sought the same thing. And that is why they converged on that point. Does that track with your investigations as well?
I do agree with that. I at the moment, it feels as if the threat has passed. Perhaps if we go down, they can help us figure out where the gold actually is, and if they know, maybe we can help them in some way, help them defend it. I do not know.
You will need at the very least a short rest, but I think the most important thing now is to bring the armies back from the Owlwood so that they may defend this town.
Yes, let us not go asking about the gold the Fae
and
seek.
we may move on.
Well, I may not ask about the gold. I just thought maybe they would just bring it up. Before we do that, give me a moment.
Perhaps.
And I start casting Rary's telepathic bond on the three of us.
Okay. All right.
I'll look
Uh,
at Schnobik and then look at Ionis expectantly, like as if there's going to be a sibling squabble, and then just kind of let it go.
All right. I'm gonna assume you can walk and cast this.
Yeah.
And so you guys are gonna head down the hill.
I do not allow him to cast it on me.
Ah, you motherfucker.
What are you? Schnobik's got one rule, man.
I just get to Snowvik and I tap him.
You and
Then I try to tap him again, and he just keeps shaking his head. I'm like, God damn it! Why, brother?
my thoughts are my own. My thoughts are my own, brother.
Were you not just complaining that we didn't have communication in this way before?
Yes, well, before you enter my mind, you must ask.
Snowvik, may I please cast this spell on you so that we may converse while we're talking to these people?
Very well.
Make me sick. I tap him on the head again.
Okay.
You're entitled.
While we are on the subject, let us continue this. And Filnir hears everything in his head.
Yeah, it's like some bullshit brother stuff.
Yeah,
Like not. Yeah,
it's just walking down,
None of it's
shaking my
worth
head.
it.
Honestly, gentlemen, I don't know how I'm supposed to think on my own while this is going on.
So while they're doing that, you have to walk through the switchbacks. It's actually like a mile to walk down to the
Is
blue.
Ionis gonna make it?
Yeah, I'm hobbling.
He's gonna make it. But I'll tell you, because they're squabbling, Tim, you're the only one who sees that the riders from the rest of your party have entered the town over the bridge, including Goliath Adair, including the other cavalry members and troops from Brine Town that you brought with you.
Okay.
Florin is still stuck in your force cage, but because you're now looking out for this, you see that his horse finally is free of it, but he's still probably 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet away from the town.
Yeah.
Where you force caged him. So he's moving at a quick pace, but it will be a little bit before he gets there. And you do see that the town is sort of moving out to the bridge to greet this cavalry that has arrived that you are now possibly not a part of, as you're making your way down the hill.
You're like a child distracted by any shiny thing that crosses your path. Gold and fey, tunnels. We have things that need to be accomplished. We must get our priorities in order.
Schnobik, while I agree, I do not think barking at him in his state is going to really straighten things up.
It's all right. Don't worry, Filnir. Him and his one-track mind can talk all he wants. There are more important things going on. I do not have time for his whining.
Yes, but now I have to hear it, even when I choose not to.
If only there were more important things going on. Good grief.
So you finally get to Blue Street. Every house here has inlaid ladybone in it. There are 3 blocks, for lack of a better word, and then there's a store on this street, and each store is sort of different. One looks like it probably is a bakery. Another one is definitely sells alcohol. They have a ladybone window in this one that has sort of drawings of different kinds of ale and spirits, and then you see the good shower potions. And then as you sort of make your way to the middle of the street, a burly man about 6'6", like a huge huge. I want to say Goliath of a man. I mean, I realize Goliath is a real thing in this world, so he's not a Goliath. He's just a real tall, heavy dude, probably 350 pounds, mostly muscle, and bald with a big old beard, super dark skin, and he comes out and he says, "Greetings, I'm Hagar."
And if you say we should go shopping, brother, I'm going to lose my mind.
All right. Greetings, Hagar.
Greetings, Hagar.
Ionis Silhavind. I am with the Free Brine Army. We've come to assist you in your battle with the Gith.
Oh yeah, the rest of your fellers are down there crossing the bridge. It looks like. What were you doing up in the dark street?
No, we were told that the Gith were arriving in your town from a certain area. We were hoping to close them off, and we followed some tunnel that led us up that way. It's very confusing.
It's the goddamn Fey. Every time the Fey show up, so do the Gith. I only just realized that they are not in league together.
So every single time.
Every time those Fey arrive. Every time.
So we have 3 days, presumably.
Well, it's been about every 3 days or so. Yep. Wait, before I get too much in this, are you Phil near Omajira?
I am.
Good God, you look just like her.
Like who?
Galwinia.
She's my sister.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard you're famous here, man. I heard you're training Florin Gershon down there from Lakenhearth to be some kind of proper sorcerer. Is that true?
I've given him some tips.
Well, everybody from yellow and white and green, they all worship him, and I think by extension maybe you. Come on in, fellas. This town's in trouble, and if you really do lead an army of the Brine, I got some things you're gonna have to hear.
Yes, we have. We may need some help from you as well, but we welcome a place to sit. Ionis is a little fatigued from the climb up the well, and skirmish with the Fae, but none worse for wear.
So Hagar kind of like he's heard your name twice now, John, and now he sort of like tilts his head to the side, and he looks like he could be a noble from Monterre. Like skin's very dark, but it's also like very well tended. I mean, it's sort of, he can tell he's been moisturizing his whole life. He's maybe 50 years old. And you're not used to seeing him this big in Monterre. Like most nobles sort of, I mean, no offense, but they look a little bit more like you than this guy. Like he looks like he's a fighter. And he sort of cocks his head and he says, I don't understand where you were 2 years ago. It's really you.
Well, indeed it is I. Do I know you?
We waited 2 weeks for you to get here before marching out against the tower. Your dad was convinced you were on your way, but ultimately we just ran out of time.
My good man, I do apologize. I was delayed.
Well, he puts out his hand and he says, I guess you're not royal no more, so you can shake a man's hand.
royal or not, I
And
prefer to meet people at eye level. And I shake his hand.
yeah, he says, fair enough.
Looking at his chest.
Yeah, right. Looking straight up, straight up from your little profile here. He says, Hagar Bond Shumpton. Pleased to meet you.
Very nice to meet you as well.
You recognize the last name as a name that you've heard. I mean, he's definitely a noble from a noble family.
Cloudsy?
No. Though maybe at one time. But you know all the last names of the people. You know at least one person in every family who lives in the Cloud Sea.
Okay.
These are maybe some fallen nobles. Every once in a while at the coming out parties, you've had a Bon Shopton like perhaps come out at one of the debutante parties, but none has ever been a queen in your lifetime.
Okay.
Of the debutante balls.
Bon Shumpton?
Yes.
Of the Monterre Bon Shumptons?
I don't believe there's any other.
It is very, very nice to meet you. What brings you down to Brine Town?
I was here with the Monterran army. I was forward deployed 3 years ago and waiting. And then the full force of Monterre came down and, well, we still got a lot of people here. I'll tell you that much. There's a lot of Monterrans here.
That is good to know. I'm a bit confused. You are from nobility, yet you were in the military force. Were you leading the charge?
I was I was more in the intelligence field. I was here setting up a forward deployment so that your father could have some information, who was loyal, who was not loyal. We actually hired Galwinia to do a lot of the initial reconnaissance out here. And anyway, we don't have to talk about the Battle of the Bands. It was it's dark days. It's real dark days. I'm a Briny now, Your Majesty.
Well, can I say on behalf of my family that I'm deeply saddened for the debacle that was the Battle of the Bands.
I don't blame you one bit.
That is.
I wouldn't have come either.
That is good to know, but it is good to also take responsibility for one's family and one's mistakes.
Let's drink to that. And he pops open a bottle of not your favorite, but it's called the Exequat, and it is definitely a favorite of the Mickelberg when they're trying to buy the most expensive wine on the menu, sort of thing.
Okay.
You do your best not to recoil when you smell the sweet. It's almost like muscadine, super sweet wine. And he pours you all a glass, and he says, "Well, I think you should know what's been going on here. Master Omajara, do we need to wait for Florin, or is he?"
He will be along shortly. He was on the way in as we were walking down. He was held back during the battle with the Gith, but should be along.
Yeah. No, I know. I have my own personal Florin here as well. I know all about that. The brains of the outfit need to make their minds up before we bring in the figureheads, so to speak. Am I right?
Indeed.
All right. Well, it's very fortuitous and fortunate that you showed up today. We have been protecting something at great cost to us here in the Brine for the last year or so.
And what is that?
We control a great deal of gold here.
I look at Snippet and Filnir.
The problem is it's transmuted.
It's transmuted into what?
And he picks up a hammer and he walks over to the wall of the winery that you're in, the bar, and he hammers on it, and it looks like a flake of plaster is about to fall off, and then instead, this blue wall that's painted blue, it just dents in, super soft dents in. He says, "All the buildings on Blue Street are gold." Whoa!
So, I'm sorry. This is how you protect it? This was
Not me.
intentional.
Not me. It's Adair's wizard. And I mean, here's the problem: is we can't do anything with it.
No, of course.
We're a target and nothing else.
So you need help transmuting it back? You need help with defense?
You need help
Jesus
with...
of Waterdeep knows the situation. The Fey Corrid is figuring it out. Goliath Adair, who you came with, all of my intel is that she wants it. And she has no idea what it is. Here's the problem. Until that wizard dies, this spell is unbreakable. It's not gold until it is gold. Do you know what I mean?
Just for my own sake. What's this wizard's name?
His name's Griggly.
In my brain, I say, God damn it!
Oh, not so loud. This is why I didn't want to do this in the first place.
Yeah, Filnir does a very tiny, barely noticeable flinch in his head as if someone has just screamed in his ear.
He told us it was the safest way. If the gold gets into anybody else's hands, I mean, why can't you just move it? Why can't you just put it someplace else? I don't understand what's so special about us here.
Clearly, we've all been thrown for a loop. I do not understand. Are the houses made of gold? Or is the gold transmuted into some other material? What are the physical properties of this?
This is all I understand. Now, and he holds his arm up and he like flexes his muscles and he says, I was made for doing physical work, not for thinking through magics. But Griggly, when he came here, he told us all the real buildings were now someplace else. And these were different buildings that looked the same, but were heavier. And he points and he says, look, they're sinking into the Palisades. Like we have to keep digging new thresholds for us to walk into. There's tunnels with water underneath each street. At some point, this whole mountain is going to collapse. He moved our village someplace else. We don't know where it is. And he exchanged it for houses that look the same, but are made of gold. And even when we hit him, and he hits it again, and you hear kind of a clang up like a metal hitting metal, he says, even then it still looks blue. It still looks like the plaster wall. There's nothing we can do.
What happens if a fire breaks out?
Up here, I don't know. Down there, none of those buildings are made of gold.
Right. No. Case in point, what happens if someone were to heat the walls if an oven were to catch fire? Does the building stand and everything within it burns? Certainly there's been one. No?
While they are talking, I am going to slip off to a dark corner of the winery.
Okay.
Do I need to roll a stealth check?
Anything higher than a 10, or actually 15, because he's right there with you.
26.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
they're
fine.
talking. I just sort
Yes.
of back up a little
Yeah.
further, walk off to a dark corner. I am going to take out my ascended ore and
Okay.
touch it to the wall.
Okay. So nothing happens. To the wall, but your ascended ore moves straight through it. So it's almost like it's not there, but as soon as you pull it out,
The wall's hard.
it's like it's moving through air, and then you put your hand on it, and it's hard again, and it's and metally. Like you can feel it. It doesn't feel like plaster. It feels like gold.
Cold to the touch.
Yes.
So I was going to do this before he disappeared, but I wanted to put when he was talking about the buildings, I wanted to put my lenders on.
Okay. So
I'm just wondering,
So-
how does Ionis explain this one? Like, sorry, it's so bright
Yeah.
inside
Yeah,
this
right.
dark
I mean-
winery.
I mean, he's asking us to inspect. I'm inspecting.
yeah. So
I can continue the conversation with Hagar while you guys are putting on your investigation.
yeah, so I'm gonna let Filnir continue on. He sort of like looks around at you guys both like going to inspect the walls, and he gives Filnir a sort of a knowing look, and he's like, "Yeah, everyone wants the gold when they find out what it is, right?"
Yes, I think we have run into many magics in our time together, and I think they are more interested in the nature of how it came to pass that walls could be made from gold. That said, Hagar, I wonder, we were most recently in the Owlwood, and it seems you have forces there standing against the Owlwood, and we have brought down by the bridge Lady Goliath Adair, and she is not hostile. She is not an enemy or an aggressor, and part of the reason that we came was to help with the gift, but we also would like to ask to pull your forces from outside the Owlwood and bring them back here to better defend the town, and perhaps we can find a mutually beneficial relationship and pull our forces together as a true free Brine army.
So you say Goliath is in charge of the Owlwood.
No, not exactly. She was ensorcelled. And yet
By
another...
Griggly.
Perhaps through another person. I could not be sure, but there was another wizard who has since been slain, who had ensorcelled most of the camp. You'll find them in complete disarray. Felipe Madamba is now in the Owlwood, rallying the troops that are from that part of the world and bringing them back to their common cause.
This feels very similar to 2 years ago. I'm
It
not going to lie
does.
to you.
Well, we do not
I feel
represent
like,
Monterre.
I feel like more complicated than that.
I think it's more complicated than that.
I know Ionis comes from Monterre, but we are not here on behalf of the Monterrans. Ionis is his own man at this point.
It's the old ensorcelled leader has her magic dispelled, and the 300-year-old revolutionary comes back to rally the non-human troops and propose a parley.
I'm gonna give.
Yeah. Every
Phil
2
near-
years, something like this rolls around.
We used to call this the
Regular as the
100-year-old
weather.
flood. Phil, give me a persuasion check. I like what you're doing here.
Come on, diplomat.
Right?
Yeah.
Where's that button? Here we go. 16.
Okay.
Assuming it's a straight roll.
So, he seems to be fairly moved by what you're saying. He says, well, let's meet this Adaran then. Or I suppose she's actually a Monteran also, isn't she?
In a way, she is. And I know much of your town feels loyalty to Florn Gershon. Part of the reason his town even still exists is because of our help, though he may not be so eager to say so. But I would have you know that we mean no harm. We are trying to unite the valley. We have heard rumors of terrible things that might happen. We are trying to prevent them.
I wish they would have never left. We have too many problems here to be infringing upon the Owlwood. A bunch of opportunists, as far as I'm concerned. I'll meet Goliath Adair. But as I'm speaking to you, I have an idea. She may have to surrender to me.
In my head, I will say, Ionis, I hope you're listening. You may have to talk to your aunt. The hostility in the Owlwood was not something that will help us. It needs to be ended formally.
It's true. That is a good point. I do not like it, but that is a good point.
Perhaps there is a middle ground. Perhaps she will end the hostilities and announce the end of her aggression.
Can you please find out what happens to her should she surrender?
Brother.
Yes?
Our aunt does not surrender to the likes of this.
I just want to
If
know...
anything, she makes a formal surrender to you, as will this Hagar, now that we have cleansed his town of Gith and Fey.
Snowbeck, I do not believe that I need Hagar to surrender to me. We are here to help. But it wouldn't be a bad idea for our aunt to surrender to the Free Brine army. That's not a bad idea.
Perhaps that is the way to go. Is it Hagar or Hagar?
Hagar.
Hagar.
That's horrible. Schnobik has a little bit of the what's that old joke from The Simpsons where the aliens are like, I don't understand why Ross, the largest friend, doesn't simply eat the others. He's like, clearly we're the baddest ones in this valley. Everyone should just bend the knee. Let's get this over with.
Hagar, we will have a conversation with Lady Goliath, but I must ask if there is a punishment that you would seek upon surrender.
I mean, what can she really give? Well, I mean, she doesn't control this gold. She can't return our homes. She's taken our men and our women. She's killed. She's burned 3 bridges that are Brine Town bridges, up and down the river up until we get to the Owlwood.
You'll pardon me for saying so, Hagar. Schnobik speaks up from the back of the wine. But it does not seem as though you control either this town or this gold either.
It's very astute. I didn't catch your name.
I did not give it. I just go back to what I was doing.
And he just continues looking at you. I would know the name of the person who I'm speaking with.
Then I will speak to you no longer. And I go
turns-
back to what I was
In my
He
head,
turns back.
Snowberg.
Yeah.
This is not helping matters.
Turns back to you, Filnir, and he says, your comrade is not wrong. I'm merely a caretaker. I was warden of this town 6 months ago. I was in charge of making sure beasts did not pester the farmers on the outer reaches of our territory here. I am only a mayor through battlefield commission, for lack of a better word. 3 mayors have been slain by the Gith. The real power is the woman they call the Ghost of the Brine.
We have seen her in action. She is a force to be reckoned with. One that would be much better placed in town should the Gith reappear.
Well, I definitely agree with you on that one.
We would very much like to speak with her as well.
As would I. If we strike out for Miller's Crossing, which is where they amass, with Goliath Adair, I believe we can have the proper introductions made.
You cannot simply send correspondence that her help is needed back here.
She will not return because I summon her.
She will not return to protect the town from Gith.
She will not return to protect the town from the Gith. She left while we were under attack, telling us the real enemy lied to our north and our west.
How long is the trip?
It's a 12-hour walk or a 3.5-hour ride.
We're riding.
You need to rest first, don't you?
I definitely need to rest. Hagar, I shall offer you this. My aunt will not surrender to you, for she has already surrendered to the Free Bean Army, of which we are the head. We will present this to the ghost, and we will tell her that we are here to help, and then we will broker a peace with the Owlwood, and then all will be taken care of.
In my head, I say, Ionis, I believe you would attract more devotees if you were indeed the Free Bean Army.
Did I say it wrong?
Yeah, you dropped the R. I was going to let it go.
Did I say it wrong? I did not notice. Shit.
Snowbick's not going to let something like that slide.
Neither's whoever's editing this episode.
Yeah. So you continue drinking your wine. He's not much of a conversationalist. He finishes. He looks at you. You guys are all still quiet. You're still examining the building. I'll let you do some perception and investigation checks in a moment. But
okay.
Basically, he finishes his wine. He stands up and he says, "Well, I'll see you out there. I guess I have to put on a pretty face for the Child King of the Brine Valley, I suppose."
Child King?
That's what they're calling him.
That's what who's calling him?
Everybody.
That's what who's calling who?
Florin Gershon. I knew his father.
Ionis, we better rein this in quickly.
Indeed.
All right, so he gets up to leave, and I'm going to let you do some investigation checks. You said you were going to do. What were you looking for, John?
I put on my
specifically?
lenders. I want to see if I can see through any of the magic or if I see anything differently.
So it just looks like gold everywhere.
Like
Like
Ladybone windows everywhere too.
bright gold. Ladybone is there for sure, but it's
They're
It's
different from
gold.
lenders somehow. Like I mean, like because otherwise everybody that
They
looked
would
through
see
the window
through the
would be
windows and
like,
see
"Oh,
gold."
it's gleaming."
Yeah, no. So the lenders are a little different from just plain old just taking a piece of ladybone. I mean, they're sort of pressed and they're magic. The sort of ladybone windows are not a whole lot of ladybone in them.
Got it.
I mean, they're
Stretched
sort
and
of like
thinned.
stretched and thinned, and so you can actually see through them
Like
from a
butter
distance.
over too much bread.
Yes, yes,
Can I roll a couple of hit dice?
yeah, sure. You guys can do a short rest here
All right.
for sure.
Get my spell.
So, the other things that you sort of see in this sort of spirits bar, for lack of better description, it's sort of just wine bottles are stacked up in the center of the room, so that the walls, you can walk along the walls and you can see the backs of the wine bottles, and there are these shelves. The base of the shelf they're all chests that are super ornate and locked, and then that's about the first 3 feet. There's sort of like a single drawer that pulls out, it looks like, and the rest is full of wine. Each one of these locks look like they have been locked using a spell. Like these are arcane locked. Even if you try it, it's sort of impossible to sort of pull these things open. This looks like it's become the town hall. Basically, it looks like these are not wine. This is not stuff that's normally stored in a wine cellar. Basically,
Boxes and a box of gold. Who thought the treasure would be on the outside?
How many boxes did you say?
it's 10. Each shelf is sitting sort of. It's just kind of balanced on here. It looks like they definitely took a shelf that was normally freestanding and put it on top of these chests.
And we've been left by ourselves.
Left by yourselves entirely in this room. Yep.
Do we need to see what's in any of these boxes?
Are they accessible, or are they like supporting the shelves?
They're supporting the shelves.
It's like trying
2
to
of them
open a cinder block.
Yeah. Well, 2 of them are actually drawers that are just come out, just pull
okay.
out. Yeah.
Ionis, you are welcome to snoop, but I do not know how long we will be in here, and I imagine we should cut Florn off before he claims victory over the Fey up on top of the hill when he was at the bottom.
Lord, that boy.
I will excuse myself and rest my eyes for a moment. And can I find a secluded place somewhere in here?
Inside
Is
the
there-
building, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of rooms that are like, there's definitely people. Hagar's probably sleeping here. Like there's a cot that's
Mhm.
doesn't belong here, behind the bar.
My senses may be slightly keener than yours. I believe I hear Florn accosting the mayor.
I'll walk outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk with him.
Yeah. Florn remains on his horse, and people are coming up and sort of like touching his horse, and he looks a lot less angry than he did before, and he's holding now a sword that looks like it's made of silver, and it's much smaller than a normal sword. And he sees you come out of the place, and he goes, Filnir, I told you I'm a celebrity here. Look at this. Look, they gave me the sword, and look, they gave me the shield. They told me it's a shield of Brine Town. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I told him if we need to, we can execute Goliath Adair and have this whole thing come to an end if we have to.
And we will do no such thing.
Well, I just telling you options.
Well, I appreciate that. We will always consider the options, albeit briefly. Florn, we should have a conversation separately. We also need to get Lady Goliath to a place where she can be held safely from those who may be angry at her, but also we can maintain appearances that she is in our control and not free to wander.
I agree. That's why I did this. And he points back over his shoulder, and she's on her horse, but he's leading her horse, and her hands are bound in rope, and he is pulling the rope and her on it. He says, Mayor Hagar, you say you had a place for us we could use. Oh yes. You can have all of Black Street. All of Black Street can be yours. That is the houses are fine. They're just farther away from the water. And it's plenty enough room for all of you.
Black
Perfect.
Street's back. All right.
So is that okay? You guys gonna go up to Black Street?
I'm gonna minor illusion to
Hardly seems like appropriate accommodations for the revered Florn Gershon.
yeah, right. I'm gonna minor illusion to Goliath, a whisper in her ear. Nod if you're hurt.
And she shakes her head no.
Florn, may I take the lead of Lady Goliath Adair's horse?
Sure, Filnir. So, gentlemen, let's continue this up in the bar up on Black Street.
There's a bar.
Oh yeah, it's tavern. It's up there, beautiful. I've been there a
Quite a
bunch of
view.
times.
Quite a view from up there. All right.
Quite a view.
I look at Hagar. Are you saying that we have full run of Black Street? No one else from Brine Town will come knocking, as it were?
Well, if the army comes back, I suppose they're going to want their houses back. But for now, they're all gone.
And if the Gith show up, we are as far as we can be for being of assistance.
Well, I mean, if you want to take Yellow Street, everyone who's from there is dead.
That doesn't sound great either.
Might I ask what happened?
Gith happened.
And somehow every
This-
person from Yellow Street was...
Well, we had to. The militia comes from Yellow first. We've been attacked 15 times.
We will find a way to put an end to that.
I sure hope you do.
Perhaps Yellow Street does make more sense. Ionis, so we will be closer.
All right. Just feels creepy.
It is your decision.
No, I think you're right. We should be part of the action. And I say in my mind that the main thing I'm worried about is anyone looking for revenge against my aunt.
Indeed. Are we safer on Black Street?
Are they able just to talk to each other telepathically, or is it like a party line? Like,
It's
do
a
I
party
still
line. They
hear
can't
everything?
keep you out.
Yeah,
They can't keep
we
you
all hear everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer.
Right. Okay.
Was that question to Hagar, Filner?
No.
So Hagar says, "Listen, it's fine with me. Here, there's no locks on any doors in Yellow Street. The shops that are there, famous for never closing. The tavern doesn't even have a door. I suggest taking," and he points down to the house that's closest to the Center Street Bridge. And he says, "That house there used to be mine. That's the warden's house. That one can lock. It's a steel beam you can put on each one of the doors. Everything else, maybe you let your cavalry spread out on Yellow Street. No locks. We'll have the towers up. there's guard towers on each bridge, so we'll have some warning at least. They always pop up, and he points out toward the Hotel de Ville. He says they always pop up right over there. Every time.
Seems like tactical positions could be taken then.
But it's not regular. I mean,
No,
we
but-
have these people stationed on these towers. We see them. And then they're upon us. And it's been tactical. We've been doing a pretty good job recently. The first 3 or 4 attacks were the worst.
All right. Well, we should take Lady Adair, secure her.
Meanwhile, back in the winery,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I call Bezalith to my hand.
And Frostbrand arrives.
My lady, we must confer urgently.
Oh, yes. I am getting very impatient, my love.
As am I. You have no idea. Another errand has an opportunity has sprung into my path, and I hope you will agree that it was a chance worth taking. The Edarin treasury is here in Brine Town, where I am also now.
How much is in the Adaran treasury?
Hundreds of thousands of gold pieces. However, it has been ensorcelled. There's an entire street of houses here that has been, the gold has been formed into the shape of houses. It appears to be the work of Griggly.
Griggly?
So say the townsfolk.
Schnubik, what do you know of Griggly?
I know he is your longtime acquaintance and seeds this valley with his foul magics.
Well, that's very true. This sounds like Elspeth, but perhaps they're working together again.
Or perhaps she merely says Griggly when it is her work.
I don't think that's right.
Well,
maybe we have been thinking about this all wrong.
I bow to your superior wisdom, my lady.
My last... Stay with your brother. Keep the Ore Keeper close. You must go see Griggly. Get a pen or something to scribe with. And let me recite some runes to you. And she...
Oh my God, you're actually going to make me take a note?
It's the only reason we started this podcast.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. This is it.
All right,
73 episodes in.
Yeah.
Schnobit gets out one of the scrolls he got that he hasn't looked at yet, and he's just going to write on the back of it.
Yeah. Okay. So she begins to name elven characters, which are actually Sylvan writing, and it translates as O P E N H A L F.
Oh, F, yes, he's a real character.
Well, now listen. You can use this. You can use this to go to a place that is between this world and another world. It is called the Contrails. Now be careful if you do decide to go there. Every minute you spend there will be like spending a month here.
Oh my God.
You must move quickly. This will take you to a place that looks like a hallway. Seek the green door. The green door always leads to Griggly.
My lady, I must seek your clarity. I also have the Adaran Lord's ascended ore. There's the gold here in the town. There's the ore bearer who swears fealty to my brother. There is Griggly. There are already too many threads. I feel them slipping through my fingers. Which one must I pull?
My last, you must take the ore and the ore bearer and the would-be king to Griggly. I believe he can help us in all of our missions.
And he will strengthen our hand against the elves and the Gilbrain.
He will show you how to destroy worlds. Bring him Adair's ascended ore. Offer it to him as a gift.
As you wish, my lady, as always.
My last, hurry.
And I send the sword back to
Wherever.
her,
Back to the lead.
her heart. Whoever holds it, does heart hold it most?
Heart holds it most, yeah.
I would assume
Yeah.
so.
All right. So
And then I go out to the street, and I see the procession moving.
the procession is basically moving around Yellow Street down by the docks and the bridges, and Florin is still up on his horse, and Filnir is leading your aunt, who is bound in rope on a horse, and he's leading her to the finest looking house on Yellow Street.
I shall stay in Black Street, no diggity.
No doubt.
And the sun begins to set in the Brine Valley. The smoke still smolders from the south part of town. You have some new toys in your possession, Schnobik, that I'm assuming you're going to want to take a look at over the
Yeah.
course of the next few hours.
You want to just tell me what they are on the bonus?
I'll tell you what they are in the bonus. Yeah, for sure. That sounds good. And the three of you, all of your trails seem to be converging on Griggly as you attempt to end these wars. So that's where we're going to end episode 73. 73. You survived the Fey. You survived the Gith, and you have something of an ally in Hagar von Chumpton.
I can't believe I wasn't there to say Gith happens.
I know. Well, what are you gonna
do? When they're like, the attacks are irregular. And they just show up out of nowhere. Yes.
Well, everybody, thanks for listening. Looking forward to taking these guys back to the Gnome's Gap. I think in the next episode. I'm hoping.
All right.
Yeah.
That's clearly the target that Tom's pointing us to.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, wait, but before we do that, we've got to broker this peace between the Owlwood and the Brine Town. And we got to
Why?
go to
You have a-
Brain
you
and
have
get
a
the
house-
control rods.
you got to figure
You have
out
a house
who's
that's locked.
surrendering here.
No, you have a house that you can lock. There's no need to stay there. You could go
We're
to
going to
Griggly.
be gone for weeks at least.
Yeah, right. I mean, good grief.
Time
Come
works
on now.
differently.
Time works differently, but also you have a way to reach Griggly now. That's not the contrails as well.
Yes,
Well, we think we do.
we're
You think you
we
do.
assume.
Yeah.
We'll compare notes.
Compare notes. Well, maybe we'll compare notes in the bonus.
We'll compare
All right,
notes
listeners,
on the bonus.
Go drop a 5 and a scribe. Well, you already subscribed if you're this far. But
Yeah.
go give us a review. Drop a
I'm
5-star.
just gonna. I want to emphasize that a little harder. You know, if you've been listening to this show, if you're 73 episodes in, if you feel like we've given you a lot of free hours of entertainment when you're driving your car on those lonely roads at night, all we ask, tell us we're doing a good job.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That's
That's
all
right.
we want. We
That's
want a
right.
pat on the head. We live for it. We love
Yeah.
it. Tell us you like us, and we will be oh so happy. It's all we ask.
And come back and join us on the Patreon and the Discord server and get those bonus episodes, and also MCM, the Mountain City Mayhem, which is getting really, really hot as well. So,
Indeed.
all right,
All right, y'all.
toodaloo, everybody.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.